Hey, I just want to give an answer just kind of quickly about the Book of Abraham video. Now, I don't have the stuff with me to start making any scholarly debates here, but I do know that there's a lot of discrepancies in the video and the information this video represents. Now, I've heard this information that is in the video many times from different sources. It seems like they always use just the same stuff to attack the same topic, and they don't seem to progress in these studies. Now, this video ignores at least probably the last 20 years of scholarship completely concerning the Book of Abraham. I would even go as far as to say 30 years of scholarship work. And this video is not very reliable at all, but this video has been done for the people who have never checked into the Egyptian stuff, or who never even heard about the topic before, to kind of make them prejudice straight away to Mormonism before they even could hear about Mormons and their side of the story. And this video has also been targeted to anti-Mormons, so that they already have their fixed opinion when they're going to go see the video, so they're not going to even care about to be critical about what they hear. First problem is that you don't really get the Mormon apologists and their view, what they would like to say about these things. You never hear about their views about anything, and it makes assumptions about this Book of Abraham topic that church has never done. Now, first problem I want to address to people is that church never claimed that those papyrus they have would include the Book of Abraham. They never claimed that. It was the anti-Mormons who hoped that. Now, for example, the fact that there's the facsimile number 1 is included there doesn't prove that that was the actual papyri. First of all, there's a reason for this. Uniquely demonstrated, and also John G. and other Egyptologists in the church have demonstrated that sometimes they had Sensen papyrus, long scrolls where they had several different records or several different kind of whatever books attached to it. And in the Book of Abraham, Joseph's Book of Abraham, it says in the very beginning straight away that, all right, go to the commencement of the record to see the representation of this altar. So he even said that it's representation, not necessarily exactly literal picture, but it represents anyway what he was trying to tell people. And so he was telling where to go in order to find it. So that shows that it wasn't part of the same text, because it's in the very first chapter where Abraham describes the situation with the lion couch scene. So he would only say that just look next to you and there's the picture, but he's actually telling you to go all the way to the beginning of the record before you can actually see it. So indicates that they're either two different papyrus, or it was just a lot later on in the same papyrus. Second, we don't have all the papyrus that Joseph Smith had. There's a lot of accounts, contemporary accounts from Joseph Smith's day, that say that the papyrus scrolls were long enough to go from one mansion house room to another when they were completely unrolled. And John G. also demonstrated that there's probably 5 different scrolls that Joseph Smith had. So who is to say that this is the Book of Abraham supposedly? We just don't have it, and that's a fact. So this video makes assumptions that are not correct at all. Now, the facsimiles and their translation errors supposedly, you have to understand that actually Unible was able to demonstrate quite nicely that some of the things there in those pictures actually represents pretty well what Joseph Smith's interpretation was. Now, Joseph Smith, when he says translation generally, it doesn't always mean transliteration, that you take a word and make a literal translation as a word. He usually gave, for example, in the Bible translation of Joseph Smith, he restored loads of stuff there that was supposedly missing. So many times it was unfolding the meaning of what is this symbolizing, or whatever it's talking about. And also, the 3rd century papyrus, Sensen papyruses that they found, have Jewish influences also. I can't remember all the facts now, but if you go to Fair website, for example, they will tell you about this more. And there's been found that Jews also, they used to have traditions about and using these same papyrus to to represent their teachings. And they had also Osiris, or Osiris, I don't know how you pronounce that. He was represented, or he represented Abraham for Jews, and also the pillars of the heaven. Jews believed that there was pillars holding heaven. So those are two examples to showing that Joseph Smith's interpretations most likely were according to Jewish understandings that was given to him by revelation. Also, one point the anti-Mormons need to understand is that Joseph Smith never exactly claimed that this papyri was written exactly by Abraham himself, that it was an autograph. Yes, the church publication says that by his own hand upon papyrus, written by Abraham, yeah. But the Joseph Smith's own original manuscript says purporting to be the writings of Abraham. So purporting was what Joseph Smith thought originally, but church published it without that word there. So it's like Matthew. We have the book here. We have the book of Matthew here. It was written in the 1st century AD, but this book is probably only a few years old. So does it mean that the book of Matthew here is not written by Matthew? No, it doesn't. All right. So there's a lot of things about this Egyptian stuff, and because most of the people in the world don't know anything about it, anti-Mormons are very easy to use it against them, because there's so few people in the world actually who really know a lot about it. So it's easy to just mislead people, saying that this guy is Egyptologist and this, and they can say basically whatever, and especially if they don't understand the Mormon theories and understand the Mormon theology behind them, it's very hard to make any coherent picture about is it really proven something or not. So I would ask you people to go and check out the Mormon apologists websites about this topic, because they're pretty interesting. There's actually a lot of bullseyes for the Book of Abraham also that confirms it, that it must be ancient authenticity as well. So this translation problem is no problem, because first of all, Joseph Smith papyri that was used to translate the Book of Abraham was supposed to be perfectly preserved. This papyri is not perfectly preserved, very poorly preserved, and they don't match what people describe them. Also, hostile to the church, Reverend Henry Caswell, he visited Joseph Smith in his Nauvoo mansion house, and there he saw the papyri also, and he saw the facsimile one, and he was looking for any suspicion, anything to point fingers at, and he described the facsimile number 1 about the Abraham being sacrificed exactly as it looks in the LDS publication now. So he didn't seem to see anything wrong there. He saw that there was a knife and a priest holding a guy who was clearly alive. So he didn't see that there was, it was somehow destroyed or anything. So it's very possible that this papyri was actually preserved better at that time. So there's so many things about this topic that people can talk about. So if you look at this video alone, you're gonna just delude yourself, because this video leaves so many questions unanswered and does not talk about things in their own real light and leaves many things out. And so Hugh Nibley's Message of the Joseph Smith Papyri is a pretty good book, and also Project Book of Abraham online is a good site also that talks about these things a little bit more. But yep, I know this video is crap, and if anybody straight away believes this video, you can do it if you want to, it's a free country, but you're not going to be very much enlightened about the truth and reality concerning these things and concerning Abraham's lifestyle. So I'm just giving you guys this advice. Go and check the Mormon versions also about this story, because you can't really convict somebody into prison unless you first hear also the defense. And if you make your opinion by listening to the prosecutor only, you're not a very righteous person now, are you? That's not very fair. So listen for both sides first and then make your verdict and be honest about it. And this video is everything but honest. The last 10 years have shown quite nicely how this video lacks any scholarship and just takes quotes from Egyptologists as they want to put those quotes. right, bye.